Okay, good evening, guys. We are now on our Module 2, Chapter 2 of our class in ITPE 1. This is the second session that we'll be having for the second or for the first semester. So, this topic allows us to, number one, discuss object-oriented programming and software development. Number two, value object-oriented programming and software development. And number three, understand object-oriented programming and software development. So for software engineering, this is a broad term. Wait, guys. For software engineering lifecycle or software engineering, this is a systematic application of engineering approaches to the development of software. So it is the process of examining and determining users' needs, developing it and designing it, building, forming, and testing the end user software to see if it pleases their needs through software programming languages. So software engineering is also used for bigger and more complex systems, which are mostly used by organizations and businesses. So there are different types of software engineering. There is front-end software engineering, which involves engineering software that meets the visual end of the application. And the second one is the back-end software engineering, where there are engineers that make parts of the application and systems that they are used by clients and administrators. So furthermore, there are different kinds of software engineering fields that we're going to discuss. So the first things first is your software design. Software design is about the process of defining the architecture, the components, the interfaces, and other characteristics of a system or component. Now, this is called software architecture, and software design is divided into three different levels of design. And the three levels are interface design, architectural design, and detailed design. When we speak about software development, we mainly used to be of the activity of software construction, and you are going to combine programming, verification, software testing, and debugging. So all of those things will be the cycle in which software development is being made into. If you will notice, that processes is the four steps are basically some steps that's similar to agile design, wherein most of the companies nowadays use for software development. For software maintenance, this refers to the activities acquired to provide cost-effective support after shipping the software product. So the key term there, guys, is cost-effective, and support. When we speak about support, this is the updates or the upgrades that you're going to implement based upon the cyclical component of your software engineering field, wherein you'll be able to upgrade systematically the software that you're going to deploy on your client's interfaces. So when you speak about cost-effective, this is a way in which you are going to have a bang for the buck, or meaning to say, cost-effective means this is the cheapest product that you can give, but mostly used. It's a value for money, So software maintenance is modifying and updating software applications after distribution to correct faults and to improve its performance. Now, just like any other software that needs upgrade, you'll be able to update software application after distribution so that you'll be correcting more errors. And to sum it up, your system will be flawless and without any errors. For software requirements, we have this refers to the elicitation, analysis, specification, and validation of requirements for software. So software requirements can be of three different types, So these are the functional requirement, the non-functional requirement, and the domain requirement. And lastly is the software testing. So this refers to the empirical, technical investigation conducted to provide stakeholders with information about the quality of the product or service under the test, or under test with different approaches such as unit testing and integration testing. So it is one aspect of software quality. So we have here, guys, later on, you will have your activity for software engineering fields. So just watch out later. For software development, the concentration of our topic for software development is that software development is the process of conceiving, specifying, designing, programming, documenting, testing, and bug fixing involved in creating and maintaining applications, framework, or other software components. So software development is a process of writing and maintaining the source code, but in a broader sense, no? So it includes all that is involved between the conception of desired software through the final manifestation of the software, which sometimes in planned structured process. Now for your activity number 3, what you're going to do is to refer to your software engineering fields and research on each field and give 5 examples on where and how it is applicable in software engineering industry. So what we're going to do is you go back here to your software engineering fields. There are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So software design, software development, software maintenance, software requirements, and software testing. So each of this, you will create a, you have to research 5 examples and its application in the real world scenario. So in just like in the industry, you just give 5 examples. You just Google it and then give examples. So what you're going to do is to put it in your word processor. Then afterwards, guys, you save it as your as a PDF for activity 3. So take note, it's PDF, guys, and upload it to your Google Classroom. Now, for software development lifecycle, you can see there that maintenance is highlighted, no? So we have maintenance, planning, analysis, design, implementation. So the first things siguro sa software development lifecycle starts with planning, no? Everything starts with planning. Pero maintenance is highlighted because that will be the most important part of our topic for software development lifecycle. So for software development lifecycle, this refers to the model of the software development lifecycle, as you can see on your screen. So in systems engineering, information system and software engineering, the SDLC, no, or what we call systems development lifecycle, is a process for planning, creating, testing, and deploying information systems. So why does maintenance is highlighted? Because it applies to a wide range of hardware and software configuration, and as a system can be composed of hardware only, software only, a combination of both. So for maintenance, you can improve it through your software and hardware configurations. Okay. While systems development lifecycle is related to your SAD or your systems analysis and design. Those two, your systems analysis and design, and your systems development lifecycle, SDLC and SAD, is actually interrelated with each other. But I think you have a subject related for SAD and SDLC, so we are not going to dwell more on these topics. So what we're going to have is just an overview of what systems analysis and design is. So to continue with, SAD is a process of developing information systems, no, that effectively use hardware, software, data processes, and people to support the company's business objectives. So it is a process of planning a new business system or replacing an existing system by defining its component or modules to satisfy specific requirements. So SAD can be considered the meta development activity, which serves to set the stage and bound the problem. So SAD can be leveraged to set the correct balance among competing high-level requirements in the functional and non-functional analysis domains. So systems analysis and design interact strongly with distributed enterprise architecture. So basically, guys, before you are going to code on the next activities and next week, this is just a prelude, no? This is just on how object-oriented is being pushed through different methods. So it so happened that we have 2 strongly agreeable method that is being implemented for OP. And 2 of that is SAD and SDLC. So going back to SAD, this is a high-level description when further broken down into components and modules which can be analyzed. So designed and constructed separately and integrated to accomplish the business goals. So SDLC and SAD are the cornerstones of full lifecycle product and systems planning. So take note of that. SDLC and SAD are cornerstones of full lifecycle product and systems planning. Now let's go to OOA, or the object-oriented analysis. So when you speak about object-oriented analysis, as you can see on your screen, so we have here object-oriented analysis techniques, which is broken down into several objects. No, we have the object modeling, the dynamic modeling, and the functional modeling. So actually, your object-oriented analysis is the process of analyzing a task to develop a conceptual model that can be used to complete the task. So later on, you will find out that it's not, I'm sorry, I did not list it on your screens, on your this presentation, but I will read to you what are the typical or the most common design analysis. No, there are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, and it is found on your modules. So we have the conceptual model. Now, this is an example of the conceptual model that you can see on your screen. So this is the result of object-oriented analysis, and it captures the concepts in the problem domain. The conceptual model is explicitly chosen to be independent of implementation details, such as concurrency or data storage. So mostly, conceptual model is being put into your hardware scenario, wherein you'll be able to have implementation details and concurrent data storages. So I think ang conceptual model nga guys is part of your UML, no, or universal modified language that you're going to understand whenever you talk about or you study SAD and SDLC. But most common, if we refer to object-oriented programming, guys, this is ang method nga daya is very much nga ginagamit all throughout the or this model is universal, meaning to say it's used all throughout intercompanies all around the world. So this is called use cases. And use cases is a description of sequences of event that taken together lead to a system doing something useful. So each case or use case provide one or more scenario that convey how the system should interact with the users, called actors, to achieve a specific business goal or function. So these actors may be end users or other systems. In short, these are your stakeholders. So use cases, guys, are used to identify the actor or the users or other systems that processes as they perform. So these use cases is very useful and beneficial because, guys, these use cases are the standards of software development for OP, especially that you have undergone object-oriented programming. I think use cases is mostly done to identify stakeholder function and support. So basically, before you deploy, you can imagine this is part when you plan and how are you going to foresee yourself using the system. So use case will aid into how you visualize the context of the system as a whole. Meaning to say, you'll be able to define the stakeholders' function at the same time, their role in how are we going to operate the system. So like for example, in MIS, you identify stakeholders, no? There are hierarchy that needs to be filled. At the same time, there are jobs that needs to be put into place. Without any functional use cases that is being distributed among the system, there will be no function for MIS because it must be integrated. So for use cases, these use cases can you can plan at the same time, can actually add or delete or modify an existing conceptual model using use cases. So use cases visually, isang katurok nyo lang guys, makita nyo doon lagi kung ano ang role nyo, ang buhaton nyo, and then ang iba niya details such as contingency planning for some events nga matabo in the future. So that is part of use cases. A good example for use case is that when your programmer actually is pirated by another company or may natabo sa programmer ninyo in such a way nga hindi na doon matigayon obra ang ana nga trabaho. So if you have use cases, meaning to say you planned all throughout kung diin ang uh, kung diin hasta ang ana nga function kag kung diin ang ana hasta nga role. So madali siya nga i-replace ka isa nga use case kay ang programmer 1 nga nagpanaw or napatay or whatever. Pwede maman kay programmer number 2 ang ginahimo ka programmer number 1 kundi nun asta. So pwede niya masugpunan. So that is the beauty of your use case. It can actually has continuity if you place a very good use case, no? So may plano. So mo ang tatlo nga mga masunod nga OOA or the object-oriented analysis techniques are somewhat ginagamit pero they are part of your OOA. So these are the system sequence diagram or SSD. So it is a picture that shows for particular scenario of a use case, the event and external actors generate their order and possible inter-system events. So these are the system sequence diagram. So this is just a picture that shows the particular scenario of events and how are you going to respond to that event. On user interface documentation, this is applicable if applicable only. This is a document that shows and describes the look and feel of the end user's product end interface. So this is not mandatory, pero it helps to visualize the end product and therefore helps the designer. There's another, the last one is the relational data model. So this one is, I think, ang pinakabudlay, para sa akon lang, ang pinakabudlay nga himuon, no? Kaya ang relational data model is an abstract model that describes how the data is represented and used. Ang nakamaan lang kadya mag-intindi is ang kung sino nagbuhat kadaya. Kay guys, duro dahil pasikot-sikot, may mga para human bala sa database ninyo, may mga relational model, mga what's this kanya may mga variables nga dapat nyo ginabutang sa isa ka lugar or ginalink or interlink with each other. So kung ikaw ang programmer or ang ano ka system, especially kung databases, I think maka-relate ka mo kadaya sa relational model. Pero this is part also of your object-oriented analysis design. This is possible to develop using a parallel for OA, and the growth of the artifact can stimulate the refinement of each other artifact. Artifact refers to the conglomerate systems functional for data relational model and other OOE, like your user interface documentation or sequence diagram. No? So that's it. For your activity number 4, guys, what you're going to do is to go back to SDLC, no? To go back to Systems Development Lifecycle. So you can see there the cycle, no? And then what you're going to do is to make a picture collage of these steps and label them accordingly. So you may use a word processor. So provided that you're going to copy paste it and convert it to PDF, no, before you're going to save it. So save it as activity number 4 and then upload it to your Google Classroom. So for the code of the day, what object am I holding during the second session? I think I'm holding a bowl of fruits. Saging, ano. Sure, I'm holding a bowl of fruit, no? Okay. Your code of the day will start later on after our session, or maybe 7 p.m. by until 10 p.m. only. Okay, so that will be your code of the day, no? Add a stopper sapensya to the stars through knowledge. So thank you guys for attending our tonight's session. So we talk about system engineering life cycle. So this is just a prelude or the beginning before we code, no. So next meeting makoding na gid kita from for Java. So what you're going to do is to look for an online IDE. Supposedly I'm going to install tani sa laboratory naton Eclipse or NetBeans or Visual Studio Code so that we can use or we can code Java, no. However, since nga it's pandemic and we cannot go to school, but we can have an activity for online activity, no. So what we're going to do is to search in Google an online IDE. Then afterwards, there you can code na whatever code I am going to give you next meeting. Then afterwards, after you code, what you're going to do is to compile it. Then you take a screenshot with the code and the output and upload it in our Google Classroom. So take note, maybe your code will be a picture, no? If you're using a cell phone, it's okay because the application that you're going to use can also have, you can screenshot it, no? To get with the code and the output. So, mas manami gani, no, tulad hindi kita nagagamit nga isa lang ka desktop nga application. Kay maskin sa cellphone ninyo, you can code na. And then you can actually screenshot and upload it to your Google Classroom. So that's about next meeting pa. So do you have any questions, guys, about our topic for this evening? Ang bago lang gid. If you have several questions, you can ask it on our chat box, or you can raise your hand and you raise your hand and ask questions. So it's okay. If you're late, it's okay. It's better. But we had our code of the day na, and that code of the day will be your attendance later on. Okay. So what we're going to talk about like right now, if you don't have any questions about our lesson for this evening, is the groupings, no? Ay kaginang session sa morning, what we did, ang classmate ninyo asked me that they're going to group among themselves. So that will be convenient because if you know each other and you work together, much better ang output ninyo. So gin-grant ko ang andang request classmate ninyo. So the question is, there will if there is somebody kaninyong out of place or hindi ka group, hindi guro guys, kay you are 60 all in I think on second year. Hindi gali. It's not you. It's the research group. I'm sorry, guys. Sala. Yeah, no, sorry. Don't mind. Ay, hindi ka mo gali na mag-group, no? I'm sorry. Nagasamo, abi, guys. Yeah, utok ko. I'm sorry. Ang grouping gali na sa ITPE, sa IT 313. Okay, I'm sorry. Kamu gali na ma-code na gali sa next meeting. And after you're going to, you're going to just use online IDE, no? I will list down, actually I've list down, nakalista ko sa module ninyo sa module 3 sa next week. Nalista ko tuya ang tatlo ka online IDE nga pwede nyo adtunan. So for your convenience. Pero guys, if you want to use your cell phones, bahala ka mo kung ano nga klase ka application ang inyong i-install. Kay may ara naman na nga mga codes apps nga nagamit ninyo last sem nga pwede ninyo gamiton. Okay? Ang sa groupings gali to na to gali kay na ang sa gali ang sa third year. I'm sorry. Mag-group gali tanda sa research nanda. Abi ko kamo. Nagsala ako guys. Gali ang nato gali nga gali kay na ang ana ka mga classmate mga higher year gali ang IT I'm sorry. So that's about it, no, for this evening. I think do you have any questions about if you're going to ask what language are we going to use? We're going to use Java because that is the prescription of our course syllabus, no, that we're going to use Java. So supposedly nauna pa ang C# sa Java. Pero actually, Java is also good in object-oriented programming. Although you can use C# in object-oriented programming as well. Pareho lang. However, Java is more versatile, no? Actually, there's a story about Java and Microsoft wherein ang nagkaso sanda tungod nga ang Microsoft pag-invento nanda kadang Windows 7 or Windows 10. Actually, nagamit sanda ka part ka dang Java, no, nga code. Pero at that time, ginruled ka US Supreme Court nga why it violation ang Microsoft because ang Java is open source nga program sa una. Sang why paginbakal ka Oracle. Pero ang Oracle man lang abi nag-akusar sa Microsoft because hanggod sanda nga mga corporations, no. And karang pagbakal kadang ka Oracle ang Java na monopolize nanda ang market karang nagligad. Pero now I think ang programming nga gid is Python, no. So Python gid gina pangita tulad ka mga ka-industry. So I hope nga if you have a Python subject, please study very well, no, kay sa industry, especially ang DICT ga tao ka mga training ka Python. It's okay to kung whatever time ka mo ang pagpasa kay study, no. Nagbutang lang ta ka deadline just because nga kinahanglan naton magbutang ka deadline. And the school reprimanded us to do a deadline. So if you're late, it's okay. You will be graded as well. So don't worry about pero daad ang late nga da guys, hindi ninyo doon pag ipalawigon bala. Okay, so some of you have not yet just watch out for the schedule of your midterm and final exam na sa other subject pa. I will announce it sa piyak ninyo tanang FB group, okay? So parang hindi magsamo naton. So mga tsimpuhan gid guys, gina-prepare ko lang yung link na bag-o na para kaninyo. So yes, JR, do you have any question? Okay. Sige. Okay lang guys. That is okay. And please don't prolong the submission. So if you're late by few days, it's okay. But not few weeks, ha? Not few weeks. Ang few days will be okay. But not few weeks and few months or few years kay medyo hindi doon pwede. So all in all, as I've said, you'll be graded. Gusto niyo makita guys yung inyong activity ang first week karang last week ninyong so pakita ko ninyo dahil lang. Let me type lang ang inyong sa ninyo guys sa inyong classroom. So we have, pakita ko lang kung paano ang pag-grade ka ninyo or pirado niyo grade ninyo. Okay. Pang-close ko yung mga kodigo nga kagina nga ginabasa ko sa naton. So, yagwa na. Let me share my screen. Okay. So, this is your classroom, no? And your grades will let's go to your grades, no? So this is your activity number 1, 2, 2. Then you have your code of the day karang last week daya guys and your quiz. So Jaya, overall average grade ninyo. Actually you can see this classroom naton. Lantawa lang ninyo to kitanon yung grade ninyo sa grades nga part. So kung makita nyo naga-total malang da kung igredan ka mo para sa quiz ninyo amo Jaya score ninyo 9 out of 10. And then ang inyong siguro nga why pa siya may code of the day siya, then pero why siya activity pa. So amo pa lang daywa no. So maman-an lang ninyo daya kay Fritzy amo pa lang day grade na why pa siya quiz 1. So naga-red man lang pa ang kulang ninyo. Dang daya why ko pa magredan, meaning to say nakapasa siya pero late lang kapasa. Okay lang, naka-green. Importante nakapasa lang. Hindi lang pula. So ang 3 kag 4 wala pa kay way pa kamo kapasa ka activity 3 and 4. And later on ang code of the day pasa nyo lang, that is 10 points man sa inyong attendance kag kabay pa nga hindi ka mo mag-ano guys mag-missed out sa code of the day until 10 PM karon. And then ang last naton is yung quiz ninyo sa Friday. Okay? So kuwaagin ninyo ang quiz ninyo sa Friday, no? Ma-active na siya 10 AM, then ma-close na siya midnight pagka Friday midnight. So these are the scores. I hope that ang iba ninyong classmate mag-login doon sa Google sa Google Classroom para nga maubrado ninyo yung activity nyo kag matawan ka mo grade. Now another request is that guys, please use your real name sa Google Classroom. Please use your real name sa FB group agad guys para nga ma-identify ko kamo. Hindi nyo doon guys pagpabudlayan kanamon bala nga lainon ninyo ang ngaran ninyo hay mabudlay. So para nga why do kita detso anay lang yung grade kag hindi do kami maglibog ulo namon kung sino iya pangala iya grade namon. So palihog kamo guys. Islin nyo ang ngaran nyo katudtuon yung ngaran. Okay, questions and clarifications.
Why na sir?
Questions? Okay, next meeting. Thank you, Clibon. Next meeting, ma-code na gid kita guys ha. So ihanda nyo doon yung mga applications nyo dyan sa cellphone nyo, mag-coding. Ang karang last year nga ko anong iya gani ginagamit yung application na? Kay kon laptop gani kag laptop or desktop, may ko to guys ng 3 ka links. Lantawa lang ninyo sa sunod nga semana. May provide ako to nga link nga pwede nga online IDE. Ang online lang. Pero ang sa pwede nyo man magamit using the browser maskin cellphone man. Pero kung may dyan ka mga application nga for coding, it's okay. Maybe we can recommend it next meeting ang sa mobile naman nga coding. Pero ang naton is Java guro guys. We're going to study Java from now on. Ang structure niya. Ang sa next module, gina-explain ko kada to kung isa-isa nga part ka Java program. Hello world lang gani ang program pero naka-detail kung yung purpose kadang mga class, mga void, mga So naka-discuss nato the next meeting. So thank you for attending our class. I think we spent only a short time. I hope that you learned something. It's okay if you because you can actually watch again our session. I will post this to your FB group so that you can see or study, or sometimes if you want to refer lang or to refresh the things that we discuss here. Sometimes dasig lang or probably hindi nyo maintindihan gyapon. It's okay, you can pwede nyo balikan liwat, or maybe you can direct message me or for your concerns or PM me regarding our subject only. Sige. So thank you so much guys for attending. I appreciate your attendance, no? And ang classmate ninyo nga nag-attend man karang aga. So as I've said sa mga newcomers, I think you can choose, pwede ka mo kapili kung diin ka mga session ma-belong. So it's either na-combine ko man ng A kag I think second year wala na kamo A or B na section na isa na lang. You can choose kung morning session ka mo, that is Tuesday 9 AM or today 6:30. So pili lang. Pero pwede man nga duwa atinan nyo kung matandos ka mo. Pareho man lang guys ang session, ang topic. So I think there's no need for you to attend both. Pero if you missed out something, you can actually watch this again. Okay? Not so much, no? The concepts. I think basahan lang ninyo yung module ninyo guys, and then you can answer your quizzes. That is on Friday. Kaya ang tanan man nga tanan nga item sa quiz ninyo is found in your module man. Sa module man makita. So that is only 10 items nga multiple choice pagani. No. So multiple choice siya. And don't forget about the code of the day. It's a bowl of fruits. Bowl of fruits. Yapon. Sige. Thank you guys. I will stop the recording now. Since you don't have any question anymore, I'll stop the recording and then see you next meeting, guys. Thank you so much for attending. Okay, bye for now. Okay, Sach. So, later. So that you can after entering the the FB group, please enter also our Google Classroom. Okay, so thank you guys, and don't forget the code of the day. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you to. Thank you Clevon. Thank you Sach. Thank you Jefferson. Thank you Kenneth. Thank you JR. Thank you John Christian. Thank you Jaira. Thank you Anthony. And see you next meeting.